Hi, Georgetta Gankars here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you a little bit about making different marks with different size palette knives. So first of all, you need different size palette knives. You need a small, a medium, and a large. And I like to have one that's kind of in between. My favorite one that I like to have that's in between is a half blade, and it kind of looks like this. And it works because it scrapes the paint, it mixes, and it does other fun situations as far as working with transparency. Scraping a layer, putting it back on, scraping it off, putting it back on. It also works with working with making great lines for edges on the side. And it also works for my method, which I'll show you, which is press and release. Then you need a small knife. And I chose this knife because it has these edges that come out. So it's not really all the way straight. You can see on the sides, they kind of bulge out a little. And I have one that is all straight, and that's different from the one here that's bulging out. And then I have this big, large knife. So the large knife is the easiest knife, and it's usually just for spreading on large areas or surfaces. So I take it on the back, the paint on the back of my knife here, and then I can just easily just spread across, just like butter, and it makes a flat line. In that line, I can do things like I can carve into it with the side of the knife, and I can make these kind of edges, or I can take the knife and I can scrape it off, and I kind of get that. I can also do two different colors. So say for an example, I have this large knife, and I'm working with my yellow. I could lay another color on top of that yellow, like let's say I had some red, and I'm only using the tip of the knife. And if I don't press, I can put these colors and I can lay color on top of color. I can even put another color on top of there, like let's say I can layer it again on top with some more yellow. And I can have layer on top of layer. I could clean my, and each time you have to clean your knife butt. But the point is, you can have many different colors on top of each other. You can keep layering them if you don't press. Then I could take that same knife, wipe it off, and then I could scrape. And when I scrape, what happens is all the colors kind of go together like that. And it could be an abstract way that you would build up your background. So again, the large knife is mostly for spreading large areas of color. You can take it off and scrape it. You can put one color on top of another. Let's move to another knife, and I'll show you some different things that you can do with the knife. So this is the half blade. It looks like half of the blade is missing. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take some yellow on the back of my knife, and I'm going to press down and pick up. And if I do that, I get this texture. It almost looks like the inside of an orange, and I can go back with a little bit of red, and I can press, and if I keep doing that, I get that texture. And that's really helpful if you're doing leaves, say for an example, or you want to do foliage and you want to do it really, really fast. What you can do is you can pick up, say for an example, a light colored green and maybe a yellow or a dark colored green, and you can kind of press. And you have these areas kind of blending together with the yellow and the greens. Okay? The other thing you can do is you can use the side of your knife. So you can load up the paint on the side, and you can do these lines. And when you have the lines, you can take the side of the knife and you can pull out the color. Okay? So the other thing that you can do is you can take a lot of paint. Let's put it over here. Okay, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this paint and I'm going to do these little tiny little marks, and they almost look like the top of a rooftop where they're textured. And I'm just picking it up, and I'm showing you how I'm just dragging the color, picking up more color, dragging it, picking up more color, dragging it. Yeah. Or they could look like almost like the scales on an alligator back, on an alligator's back. And you get that. Okay, so that could kind of be interesting for something. The other thing you can do is you can pick up the color, and you can take the knife and you can move it. And I've picked up 3 or 4 colors here, and I've moved it around, and I'm doing this kind of circle, a half-arch circle. Okay, so this was doing the line, extending it. This was this half-arc circle. This was just spreading it across. This was taking up a color, putting it on the back, and scraping it off. This was press and release, both of these, putting the color, pressing it down, and these were making these kind of shapes. Okay, so I'm going to do some more shapes. I'll revisit you. Try these at home, and I'll show you some more next time we meet. Have a good weekend.